Hey guys, welcome back to another journal entry. So, today we are actually going to be talking about a very heavy subject. I feel like I have kind of struggled with. The title of the video you guys already know. So, we're going to be talking about the art of being too emotional. Okay? So, the art of being too emotional, I feel like that's something that people have been wanting you to suppress. Like, it's such an underrated art form of expression. Nowadays, I feel like a lot of people are now telling you to just be nonchalant, to not care, to be a certain way that you're not, I guess. And it's basically just suppressing your emotions and your wants to care. I guess that's how I see it. Because yesterday, I couldn't sleep, right? I couldn't sleep. I was up till like 3, 4 in the morning. And I stumbled upon some YouTube videos that was literally just like master the art of detachment, master detachment, how to not care, all of those things. And me being me, like, I'm just gonna click on something to see if it'll help me sleep at that time. I clicked on 4 different videos of the same topic, and I didn't like them. Like, I knew what they were trying to say, but I guess I just didn't like that they were asking for people to put away such a big part of themselves just so they could be nonchalant, not care, not be too emotional. So, from my experience, I feel like being too emotional has always been looked down upon. There hasn't been anybody, like, I've never had a friend, I've never had a family member, I never had a boyfriend, a lover, whatever you want to call it, tell me that I am too emotional, that I am too much with my emotions. So I've always felt like I can't be myself. I can't truly be myself without somebody complaining or thinking that I'm too much, that I'm too emotional, and I'm going to complain about, hey, you did this and it's affecting me this way, and I feel really sad about it. I feel really, like, I feel a very strong emotion about it. And I feel like I've always been the type of person. Why am I gonna cry? I feel like I have always been that kind of person that feels emotions too much. Kind of like too. Oh my goodness, why am I crying? I told you guys this was gonna be a very hard topic for me to say. I've always felt like I've been that kind of person to feel everything at the max level. Like, even when I was a child, I always cried about so many things that really didn't make sense to a lot of people for me to be crying about. Like, I knew that that was something that probably my parents would get so frustrated on, because they would just find me crying, and I even, whoa, even myself, I wouldn't really know why I would be crying, but I would just feel an emotion so bad that that was the only way for me to, like, express it. So yeah, I have experienced hatred, like, anger, sadness, not very much of happiness in my whole 22 years of life. Um, Jealousy, I feel like that's a very, very big one that I had experienced for so many years. Jealousy, anger, hatred, um, betrayal. So it's just a bunch of all of these negative emotions, I guess, that I have felt at such an extreme level that I don't even know how I'm still here. Like, not here in this earth, but like here talking to you guys. I feel like I would have been at a mental institution if I wouldn't been able to handle it the way that I did back then. I know that that wasn't a very good way of coping with things, but it just helped me get through it. And now I'm here explaining it to you guys. So a win is a win, I guess. I don't know if you guys already caught on to what I'm trying to say, but I'm gonna give you guys an example, okay? So the example that I wrote was that it's like a person at a beach, they're standing at the shore, and you know how you just like your feet get wet a little bit with the ocean, and here comes another wave and another big one and another one, you know, like the tides end up being stronger as the time goes, right? Not for me. Not for me. The tides represent the emotions, okay? And the person is you, all right? So for me, I feel like I've always kind of experienced the 0 to 100, okay? Same example, me at the shore vibing, all of the water, you know how when there's a tsunami, a lot of water gets drawn back to the ocean, and all of a sudden you just see a huge wave and it dumps on you? Yeah, that's really how it is for me. And sometimes I don't even know what causes it. Like, I don't even know what triggers certain things for me to be feeling such a strong wave. Like, it would literally just catch me off guard most of the time. I kind of touched bases on this a little bit before the example. um so as a child, I had always been very emotional, okay? Very, very emotional. I was always crying, always had an emotion, okay? I guess after that, I would get labeled as like the too emotional, very hard to deal with. I literally just masked my emotions, okay? And this is how I ended up coping with it. I'm not saying that this is the best way to do it. Of course, it's not. Generally, it really, really isn't, because it's a lot harder to come back from that and to kind of want to change from who you are. You know, you kind of end up attracting very wrong people for you. And so that's what I did. I would just mask my emotions so I wouldn't be labeled as the too emotional, too hard to deal with, too whatever. I was able to mask my feelings and turn them into anger. That was the worst decision ever, because that's literally who I was. I was then turned into the angry child. I was then turned into the angry friend, the angry lover, the angry partner. Like, that's who I was. And honestly, for a very long time, I thought that that was better. I thought that that was a better title than being the too emotional one. It took me a long time to actually realize that there was nothing wrong with me expressing my emotions properly. There's nothing wrong with me feeling such a strong emotion and wanting the other person to know about it. I feel like I keep saying the same thing, but it's true. Like, I had to understand how to process my emotions, because I knew that I couldn't just be caught up in the storm of feeling so much and then dealing and then just saying anything, saying whatever I felt towards that person, and then having to deal with the aftermath of after the storm passed, of me saying really rude things, me, you know, being mean, nasty, rude, all those really bad things just to get my point across. As time has passed, I have allowed myself to feel the emotion, you know, to actually feel it, not just mask it, not just like put it away, put it in the back burner, not think about it, get over it, you know, because I never really get over things. I never get over things, okay? And I never forget. I'm like an elephant. I remember everything, okay? I remember literally how I felt from whatever moment. I have learned that the best way to release it and to, I guess, understand it for me has been by crying. Okay? Like, I am back to being a crybaby. I don't care. I like to cry. Like, I feel like that's such a big thing that I had put away, because a lot of people took advantage of my vulnerability, that it was just like, oh, you're being really nasty, you're making me cry, you know that it affected me, and you're still not changing, you still are treating me the same. Is that I cry when, well, for everything, but I cry a lot when I feel very loved, when I feel very happy, when I feel very sad, when something affected me so much. Like, I feel like that's such a common response, but I guess being but I guess after so many years of not crying, of not responding properly, that it just feels good to, I guess, cry and to really acknowledge it. Um, because for me, I feel like once I start crying, that's when I'm like, oh my goodness, like I feel such an overwhelming sense of love, of anger, of happiness. Before, I had said that I never really felt happiness in my life, and that is true. And along with that is to feel love. I feel like feeling such a overwhelming amount of love or happiness didn't really happen for me when I was growing up, or in some relationships. I have been told that I am a very hard person to love multiple times by multiple people. There was always some kind of negativity because I felt too much, that because I felt too much, it was too much for them to deal with. So I was just getting told that I am too hard to love. Feeling such a strong positive emotion is so underrated, I guess. Well, for me, that whenever I feel it, I want to cry even more. Like, because I feel like it kind of ends up healing certain things of myself, of my inner child, of my teen years, and even now to my adulthood, I guess, that hasn't been able to heal properly. I never understood the fun of shaming somebody because they felt so much emotion. You know, like it happened when I was a kid, it happened when I was a teenager, when I was a preteen, when I was now an adult, quote unquote, an adult, young adult. That it's like, well, now what? Being too emotional is a dying art form, okay? I feel like as the days go by and people make more videos, we are subjected to not care, to care less or to not care, to be nonchalant, to, you know, not be yourself, not be able to express yourself because somebody else is not going to appreciate it. That is not what we're trying to do. Too much, being too emotional is an art form that people are trying to, I guess, make you feel like it's not right and that you should change. Because if you don't change that, then the other person is just not gonna care of what you say. Wrong. Change the person. That is a lot easier than changing yourself, than taking a part of yourself that's so big, dimming it down, and just being something else. Being too emotional can be such a beautiful way of figuring things out, figuring how you feel, and helping others figure out what they're doing wrong. And quite honestly, anybody who makes you feel bad, that makes you feel like you're in the wrong for feeling too much, should not be around you. That is something that I'm still learning to this day, to kind of like see who is supposed to be around me, who appreciates me being emotional, who doesn't make me feel bad for being too emotional, for being too much for them. Overall, you should not minimize, you should not hide something that's so big, that's such a big part of yourself. You should not be doing that just for the comfort of somebody else. It's okay to be too emotional. It's okay to be too much. It is okay. And that's what I tell myself when I feel so much. that it's still okay, that my feelings are valid, even though said person is not validating my feelings. It is still okay that I feel such a strong wave of emotions, because it's fine, because I am able to feel them. I am letting myself feel them. It's okay. So if you want to leave this video with anything, let it be that it is okay to be too emotional. Okay, bye guys.